Hi gang, this is Mike G from Mr. GTV and MrMikeGarner.com, and this is Straight Talk 7. As I watch the news and catch the headlines, and you do the same, what conclusions are you coming to? Two headlines today that are really significant is the NHS nurses strike, which is possibly long overdue. But the nurses have an allegiance, they have a moral code which you've got to respect, which is that most of them are there because they care. It's a profession which is a lifestyle. It's a life choice to care for people, and because from my experience it's very difficult to work with the public, because I've worked in an industry that serves the public, even though it was a private membership club called the Automobile Association. Even in situations when you're helping people, people can be very difficult. And if you've ever worked in retail, and quite often, you know, with inquiries, I'm in a situation where I'm evaluating, can I work with this person? Is this person, am I the right person for the potential client or customer or student? So it's all about relationships. The relationship with a nurse or a doctor or a porter or anybody that works in the NHS with the public is one that should have respect and a caring attitude. But look what they earn, and look what's happened to the NHS. Privatisation, exploitation, and it's been going on for a long time, and the Conservatives have been in power for 10 years, and yet they're blaming current world situations, as they are with everything. Most of the current world situations have been created by government legislation, mandates, acts of parliament, statutes. So it's very easy to point the finger. And we should, in a democracy, be able to negotiate. But the power of the unions is weakened, and a lot of that is because of the public. Because in the past I've been a shop steward, and quite often the shop steward finds himself on his own. He's asked by the delegates by the membership to actually stand up against management or go and negotiate, and he finds himself negotiating on his own. Look how many people recently are complaining about government mandates, health mandates, restriction of freedom mandates, restriction of liberties mandates, changes with the interest rate mandates, which is the other thing that's happened today. But let me ask you, what are you doing about it? I talked before about being accountable, that one day people will say to you, what did you do, Grandad? What did you do, Grandma? What did you do, Auntie, Uncle, Mum, Dad, whoever you are, whatever role you play? What did you do during the pandemic? What did you do when all these changes were going on? And I hope you can make a good account for yourself. I know what I'm doing, talking about it, I'm being honest, it's straight talk. I'm doing as much as I can in my belief system physically, peacefully, and I'm also working metaphysically. Now, what are you doing? Because we've got this situation today where the Bank of England again have put up the interest rate by 0.5%, and look what's happening to the high street. Look what's happening in certain parts of the UK, Great Britain, the British Isles, in terms of trials that are going on, and I talked about that in Straight Talk yesterday. And what are you doing about that? Or are you just saying, well, that doesn't affect me? In a collective, it's up to us all to take an individual and also a collective point of view and take responsibility for what happens in our society. Even if I'm all right, Jack, if you're okay and you're not finding a problem paying your bills, if you've got a nice house, a nice car, if you've feathered your nest, well done, so have I. But there's people who aren't as fortunate as you, me, we. There's people who are struggling and cold and homeless and insecure and unwell, whose life is like hell. Sunny today on this snowy day where it's 4 degrees here. At least it's not in the minus numbers as it was. We're going into a cold spell where life can be like hell. And straight talking now, if you're okay, I'm okay, Jack, as the expression goes. Surely you are not of the mentality that just because you're okay, you don't have anything to do with it. The old way of having a community, a unity, is that we all look after each other. We prepare the way for a better day for the next generation, for our kids, our grandkids. But just because you're okay doesn't mean that the world is okay. So what are you going to do about it? And as I say, there's physical things, practical things, without being violent or argumentative or being bigoted or judgmental. There's kind, loving, constructive things that you can do physically, like contribute to food banks, like lobby your MP. If you're educated and you're able to compose a good letter or turn up and be a good orator and speak, there's so many people who can't do that, who haven't got a voice, or maybe are less educated, less able, less intellectual, less technically able. They don't understand how to send an email and take part in a Zoom call or whatever it is that you have to do these days to see your MP, to attend a local meeting, to have your opinion heard. Maybe you're the person that can do that. Are you doing that? I really appeal to you to do that. I really appeal to you to see what's going on, do your own research, make a valued judgment, not mine, yours, and share because you care. Do what you can while you're here, make a difference, get on a mission. Because there's so many people who possibly haven't got your resources, haven't got your intelligence, haven't got your savvy. And we need all sorts of people, because we're all in this together. But if you're just looking after yourself, I'm all right, Jack, well, let's see how that works out maybe in 200 years time. I don't think it's going to take 200 years, sun's in my face, I don't think it's going to take 200 years to see, feel and experience the effects of what clearly is a shift in society. But for a lot of people, this shift feels shit. That people aren't feeling well, that there's lots of mental health issues. So we've got the NHS striking, interest rates going up, banks being removed from the high street, extremely cold weather and people unable to pay for energy bills, house prices going up, more people on the street, homeless, unemployed, businesses closing down, can't be sustained, the high street changing, not by accident in my opinion, not by accident. This is all part of what was predicted back in 1999, which was the assessment for biodiversity, which people are calling the Great Reset. and it's being rolled out step by step as per that agenda, which is a document that you can source, and it's being adopted by governments globally, directed by global think tanks that are unelected elites. What are you doing about that? Do you even know about that? What are you going to do when you're in need of an ambulance and it doesn't turn up? When there's no beds available? When there's nothing on the high street and you're being encouraged to stay at home? When these 5k and 10k towns are public policy for a new society, what David Cameron called the big society. And it's happening, it's being trialled. I posted about that, about the Oxford trials. Trust me, those trials will go miles. They've already said that they're going to trial them more in Great Britain during 2023, 2024. It will be in as policy. That unless you've got a reason to travel out of a certain perimeter, it'll be considered non-essential. Who's making those decisions? You'll have to get a permit, get permission to go to Liverpool from North Wales, to go to Manchester from North Wales. 5 and 10k perimeters. Not conspiracy. Just Google the COVID lockdowns and the climate change lockdowns being trialled in Oxford. Happening today. So much that's not being put out there in the public domain. Do your research, guys, and ask yourself, what am I going to do about it? And if you feel that you can't practically, trust me, you can metaphysically, spiritually, energetically. You can pray to your God. You can send positive vibrations to these poor drowned migrants who are coming across the channel, all part of the agenda. Don't take prejudice or make judgments without understanding the bigger picture. See the bigger picture, be kind, loving and powerful. Enjoy your mind and use your mind in a constructive, powerful way, because you have a wonderful mind and you can transmit energy. And if you don't understand that, we need a chat. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful day. It's a wonderful world. There's a veil that's being pulled over the beauty of this world. And veil is an anagram of evil. V-E-I-L, veil. And it's evil. All rearranged. And at the moment, all this legislation is evil. But you represent love and kindness, I hope. Be loved, be kind, be powerful, be positive. Take care and check back for more from me, Mike G, for free on Mr. GTV.